Next to Shadow of the Earth 3 and Black Myth Wukong, Dragon's Dogma 2 is probably my most anticipated game for the entire year. I played the original Dragon's Dogma quite a few times, and it only dawned upon me quite recently how it is actually a good match for Soulsborne gamers. Now, since I'm a way too small channel to get my hands on the game like a big media outlet like IGN, I will show you their footage and link you to the original videos so that you can get a more in-depth opinion from them as well about various aspects of the game. So let me get you as hyped as I am for Dragon's Dogma 2. Based on my experiences from the first game, it's safe to say that the upcoming sequel for Dragon's Dogma is set to offer a familiar and captivating journey for fans of the first game and also for Elden Ring fans. From what I saw, the world building of Dragon's Dogma 2 maintains the dark and grim atmosphere established in the first game. The entire lore of the series is centered around a cycle of chosen ones, called Arisen, who are bound by a tragic fate of continued struggle against a dragon named Grigori. Those chosen by Grigori, the Arisen, are trapped within this unending cycle, a great chain as it is called in the first game, which continues with each new age and each new arrival of the dragon. And each Arisen has to be strong enough to face Grigori and kill him or else doom the world should the Arisen fail. Now, I don't want to spoil everything for you, since I'm sure that Dragon's Dogma 2 will have all of this as its central plot and lore as well. So just think of the main plot as a cycle, like the linking of the flame in the Dark Souls universe, and you have a pretty good idea about what you can expect from the story of the game. And thanks to the advancements in hardware capabilities and as such fewer constraints in capacities and time, the original vision of the game can now also be fully realized. For context, the original vision of Dragon's Dogma was for the player to explore vastly complex and outright insane areas, races, and themes within its world. One such idea that wasn't achievable with the original game and the PS3 hardware was for the player to explore some kind of archive or labyrinth situated on the moon. Yes, the moon. Why explore the moon and have something like that situated on it? Just because it's cool and JRPG stuff, I guess. So we can be certain that this game will be a wild and unforgettable ride. I mean, just look at the things. The devs are telling us in an IGN interview that this is so far off the map that you can beat the game without ever interacting with it. As such, Capcom is so confident in what they have created that you don't feel the need for bombarding us with many map icons and just let us freely explore the world they have created. And I don't know what screams more, hey, you like Elden Ring's exploration? Check this game out for the same experience! Which doesn't only apply to the discovery of areas, dungeons and hidden locations, but also the game's NPC side quests. The NPC quests in Dragon's Dogma are like those in any Souls game. They possess an enigmatic nature, leaving players to decipher cryptic clues and objectives to unravel its intricate storylines. As such, there won't be any handholding by the game via a detailed quest log telling you what to do every second of the game. A natural way in which the game helps you is through the pawns of other players who have experienced a quest through the Arisen in their world. So, you will have in-game help to figure out quest objectives and don't have to rely on guides online to complete quests. And trust me, you will need this help. With the quests of the original game as a benchmark, you will certainly be lost in quests in Dragon's Dogma 2 as well. Trust me bro, they can be extremely convoluted. As such, the exploration and quest design will be for players dedicated to exploration and lore hunting, instead of having a billion quest markers for players to check off like a to-do list. Which describes Soulsborne players quite well. And what is also great is that you can play Dragon's Dogma 2 without the need to play the original to understand the game and its lore, since the sequel is, in a sense, a soft reboot for the series. But I would still recommend you playing the original, since for one, it is a great and unique gaming experience. And it will help you to ease into the combat of the franchise, which is quite unique. As well as the polar opposite of a Souls game in terms of gameplay and combat. Unlike Souls, where solo play is the default and sometimes only option, Dragon's Dogma's combat emphasizes the necessity of jolly cooperation between you and your AI pawn party members. A party consisting of yourself, your very own main pawn, who you create and personalize however you want, plus 2 other pawns you borrow from other players. The combat in Dragon's Dogma is, in a sense, similar to D&D or Baldur's Gate 3, where each party member should have a special role to have a balanced party that can handle any situation. although combat is way more action-focused instead of turn-based. You can choose for yourself and your main pawn from several different vocations, aka classes, with each vocation having up and downs depending on the situation. And having a balanced party is necessary to survive in the game, because either attempting to solo the game or having a party consist only of sorcerers will definitely prove to be a daunting challenge, if not impossible. For new players, of course. Although with the latest trailer from PlayStation State of Play, you yourself can switch between vocations on the fly as it seems. So maybe you can actually beat the game solo. Though I wouldn't recommend it for your first playthrough and instead form a party to make life easier for you. However, even with a balanced party, failure to collaborate effectively with them will result in certain death, as mobs and bosses swarm your party relentlessly in every hour of the game. Especially at night, where visibility equals 0 and each noise has you on high alert. As for the boss fights in Dragon's Dogma, you can expect them to be quite challenging and some even being a true spectacle. Even in the original game, boss fights are the epitome of challenge and brutality, combining elements of the Souls boss formula with the tactical aspects from Baldur's Gate 3. For example, certain bosses can only be damaged with magic. So even if you've achieved max level, you will at best do only 0.01% damage to such a boss unless your mage imbues your weapon with a magic element. Or a boss wears armor, and in order to do damage you have to strip it of its armor with explosive arrows or only hit spots where the boss is unprotected. All while dodging the huge AoE swings of a Cyclops, for example, and reviving your fallen party members on the regular. And also very unique to Dragon's Dogma, which I believe eventually found its way into the Monster Hunter games, is the ability of your party to climb onto monsters. This mechanic is extremely important in any encounter, since it can actually give you such a significant advantage that can dictate whether you can defeat a boss or not. So yeah, boss fights were tough in the original game and will stay that way, or even more punishing in Dragon's Dogma 2. Which isn't, however, something new for hardened Soulsborne connoisseurs. But I really want to emphasize how hard, long, and demoralizing boss fights can be when you die to them because of either you not being prepared enough or don't have a good balanced party. Death in this game doesn't result in a loss of your currency or something akin to that. However, it will set you back quite a bit. For example, you could have spent an hour fighting a Griffith and a Troll back to back to die during the last 10% of the Troll's health and get spawned back into the city. So that from there you have to travel 20 minutes back to the location where you fought the Griffith and the Troll, defeat them after another hour and this time not dying, so that you can complete a random side quest for an NPC and receive a meager to moderate reward. Happened to me quite a few times in the original, and it will be the same for your first time with the franchise. So yeah, this game can and will consume a lot of your time, which however will be time well spent, I can assure you of that. In summary, Dragon's Dogma 2 will be just as obscure, creative and challenging like any Souls game, especially Elden Ring. Although its combat isn't anything like Souls and frankly nothing like any game I have played. And I hope you are as hyped as me or at the very least interested in Dragon's Dogma 2. So let me know in the comments about your thoughts of the game and whether you want me to cover the lore of the game when it's released. Also, consider to subscribe to help my channel grow. Well, in the meantime, you can watch either some of my Lies of P or Elden Ring lore content. As of the upload of this video, I should be well into the production for my breakdown of the Mogwai Dynasty structure. So, here's an incentive for you to subscribe, which I want to get done before the release of Dragon's Dogma 2, since I know that I will invest a lot of hours into this game. At any rate, I wish you a good day and until next time, ciao.